These little things you pull out of the ground have the capability of healing us so completely. I enrolled in Chestnut School of Herbal Medicine, which is a 16-hour course. So it's one step down from actually being a medical herbalist.
I met a witch
Yeah.
in a graveyard.
At the crossroads. Right. And it was a full moon.
Welcome back to part 2 of 3 with Adele Holmes. Come be weirdos with us, because no tangent was too extreme when it came to this conversation.
Don't adjust your settings. You are right where you need to be. Pull the curtains. Lock the doors. They can't know. They don't want you knowing. So pull up a chair and prepare. The Conclave is now in session.
Actually, okay, so with your teas,
Yes.
is it just spiritual or do we go into the realm of medicinal as well?
We go into the realm of medicinal. Yes.
Okay.
I delving into the herbs and everything, making the teas, I started learning more about the herbs, not necessarily, the general herbs or or anything like that. I wanted to know, okay, how does nettle make me feel better in the summertime, because of the allergies and everything. So I started learning the herbalistic side of the herbs. And I was fascinated. And I train my kids when they have the sniffles, make some nettle tea. And when they would get out of control, I would brew what lovingly they called as children stinky tea, which was hilarious. And it's just like, because I would make it and I would try to mask it with a little bit of chamomile, maybe a little bit of catnip or some skull cap. And it's like, oh, she's making this stinky toe tea. And I'm like, shut up and drink it. But I found it fascinating that these little things you pull out of the ground have the capability of healing us so completely. So I went to try it out. I went to Rosemary Glasper's online school. It was like maybe a 200-hour course and flew through it, loved it. And I'm like, okay, time to like amp it and truly delve deeper into it. So then I enrolled in Chestnut School of Herbal Medicine, which is a 16-hour course. So it's one step down from actually being a medical herbalist type thing. That took me a year and a half to complete, but it was so detailed and so informative. That's where I got my knowledge from. And so I cannot tell you, oh, okay, you have high blood pressure. You need to take this, this, and this because there's nice little letters after my name. So yeah, the FDA kind of frowns on me trying to be the medicinal. But what I could tell you is, hey, I can give you the names of herbs. You can look it up exactly and see. But most people, and what I find really frustrating is they take anybody's word, whether it's social media or the guy down the street, as gospel is what these herbs do.
Yeah.
Case in point, St. John's wort.
Yeah. Every time somebody buys it, I'm like, are you drinking this?
Yes.
Are you on medications?
Yes.
If you are on medications, don't drink this.
and I do the same thing. And I'm like, okay, my cheese does have St. John's wort in it, but I do have St. John's wort to purchase. Are you ingesting this? No. Okay, what are you doing with it? Well, I'm doing this. Okay, that's fine.
I'm burning it for exorcism.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Fine. Go for more power to you. But if you're ingesting this, you want any type of medication. And the one lady came in here, and she's like, I heard that this is like sunshine in a bottle and seasonal affective disorder. Yes, it's perfect for it. I said, are you on any type of medications? She's like, well, yeah, because I had a liver transplant.
Oh God, no.
Right?
Oh God,
right? She goes, I had a liver transplant, and she's like, some man on rejection medication. Yeah. She goes, but that's it. I'm like, well, that's it.
That's all. Only the like. And why would you ingest anything without checking with your doctor?
I'm sure you come across this here.
Oh yeah,
we get people fight us on it. They're like, no, but seriously, what is this? Can this? I'm like, we don't even have the most minor knowledge of the medicinal side, and we don't look for that reason.
Right.
So we don't accidentally slip and give you advice because, first off, it's dangerous to you, and second off, we're liable.
Absolutely.
We'll lose
so
our.
How I kind of like I was like, oh, and I'm like, okay, here's what I need to tell you. please look up medical contraindications of that herb that you're talking about right now.
Yeah. Literally anything you eat, if you're on something like anti-rejection meds too, like
and
that is
right.
for
And
your
for those who
liver.
don't know, St. John's wort negates the type of medicine in your body. So if you're on anti-rejection medicine or
Birth
birth
control,
right?
antibiotics.
Right, and it just wipes it out. And I'm not telling you that that's what it does. Look it up. You can read it for yourself. But I also I tell people if you're going to do stuff with these herbs, three source it. And I always say look at three reputable sources online
Mhm.
and look at the information that each source provides and then do your own due diligence and research it. If you're putting this into your body, you have to be your own advocate for all of your medicinal, spiritual, whatever. You got to be your own advocate.
And especially if you are pregnant, nursing, trying to become pregnant,
Right.
there's a lot of things that people are like, oh, you should try this, you should try that. There are things that you should not be drinking. If you are trying to become pregnant, if you just got pregnant, there are things that will cause uterine contractions that
Yep.
are very
Very.
common in women's health teas.
Yeah.
Things like red rabbit, which is very common, can cause a lot of issues in the first trimester.
Exactly.
So,
And us being who we are with a little bit of knowledge, like I'm in no way certified that, like a medical degree knowledge. But I know enough to be like, you might want to look that up.
yeah,
Like,
I was pregnant. I just looked it up
right?
because I was like, should I be eating this? Should I be drinking this?
And it's frustrating because we are so bound and gagged, so to speak. But me, I always want to help somebody. I always want to give them the best possible outcome, and I'm very limited in my speak when it comes to that type of stuff. And
Yep.
it is very frustrating. So yes, I will tell you not to be rude or mean if you come to my shop. I'm gonna be like, you need to look at it before I let you walk out the door with this.
Yeah.
And it's me trying to protect you
Yeah, I'm just trying to stop
and
something bad from happening.
stay legal and not have
But
pound on my
that's refreshing because we know of another person in the area, and as per usual, we will not be naming names. Used to have a shop, now does just shows. Um, who recently started advertising uh, medicinal herbal remedies. No education,
No
no formal background,
certification.
no certification, and putting it out there as medicine. It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
following that they have. It's like
it's
you're going to
incredibly
hurt
dangerous.
somebody.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, when you get arrested and sued for everything you own and will ever have,
Oh, right.
because you
And
and like
no
we know
insurance
the
is gonna
person,
protect
we
you.
know the person, they know.
She has insurance.
Yeah.
Right, right. Meanwhile, I'm sure it's out the wazoo.
So let this be, the message that we're gonna, putting through here for you guys. Unless the person has the actual, herbology, what would be if the actual
herbalism.
yeah,
Well,
herbalism.
background, the certification. Granted,
It's
the
like a
certification doesn't mean
doctorate degree.
anything, but
Right.
exactly.
It's like it because I looked into it
You,
for a
you,
second.
you
Like
need
this is
initials after your
like
name to give
7 programs. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
unless they're that, understand that if they are giving you medical advice, pause. If they're saying stuff like this herb tends to do your research. Yes, listen.
Yes.
If anybody doesn't have any kind of accreditation behind it, hasn't taken any of the classes, doesn't delve into that in as part of their whole world, don't listen to them.
Right.
And even if they have the letters behind their name, still, if you want to use it as a medicine replacement or a supplement, consult your prescribing doctor
Absolutely.
first.
Yeah.
Cannot emphasize that enough.
I tell people I'm so glad you touched on that because people will be like, well, I don't want to take my insulin anymore, so I'm going to take some moringa and this and that, and I'm like,
you're gonna die.
exactly,
You're gonna
exactly.
die.
People want to be more um, herbal dependent, and replace their medications, which I'm for. However, I totally believe Eastern and Western work very well together.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of educating yourself and, like you said, doing your due diligence and be like, okay, well, this can actually help amplify this, but I'm going to talk to the doctor first.
Yes.
And I've done that. I'm a cancer survivor, so a lot of the stuff doesn't agree with me anymore. My body has changed. I accept that. But when I was going for chemo and the radiation, I felt like shit. Absolute
Yeah.
shit. And I started reading. Okay, well, this is, Rosemary Gladstar's been around. She's considered the grandmother of home medicine. So I did a lot of videos for her, watched a lot of videos of her. And so I started doing my due diligence and I started researching print, print, print of all the herbs she said,
They'd be
good for
like, go
you.
to the doctor and be like,
And I did. I was like, okay, so this helps with this, but this helps with this, can I take this? Is it going to, counteract something? And 9 times out of 10, they're like, go ahead, go for it. Our blessings.
if it
They,
makes you feel
they may
better.
roll their eyes
Exactly.
at you like,
Right?
oh,
But,
silly,
But then I'll tell you, funny because I started doing infusions. I was drinking infusions of nettle tea, oat straw, and like I was doing a lot of different herbal infusions and infusions for people who don't know what infusions are. They're not like a steeped tea. They're hours long. And I started drinking that. Now, mind you, did it taste like my backyard grass?
Mhm.
Absolutely. And, like you find out ways that kind of cover mask the flavor. But I was on these vitamins that were like hormones because my body was so depleted of everything. I'm like, I can't even swallow these, let alone. And it was horrible. So I started drinking these infusions. And whenever I went back and I did my blood work, he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "What are you doing? What protocol are you using?" I said, I'm not." And he goes, "Well, all of your levels are up." And I said, "Oh." And I said, "Well, I'm taking vitamins." He goes, "Not the ones I'm giving you." How about that? Not the ones I'm giving you, because they give you a measured dose of
So they're
vitamins, so
like,
they
Sure
track
know
it.
what it.
Exactly. Mine were up here. And I was like, he goes, "So what are you taking?" Thinking I'm taking some other type of I was like, "I'm just drinking my stuff." And he goes, "Well, what powders?" I said, "Herb. I'm taking netto. I'm taking oat straw. I'm taking this. I'm taking that." And he goes, "Really?" So doctors don't know. And it's not their
Yep.
fault. They're not trained in that because it's not a specific science.
Yeah.
They can't regulate it. And
Yeah.
herbs sometimes, depending on the growing season, they're a lot or
yeah,
it all depends. If they like it because it's not exact.
it's
But
harder to measure.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, it's fascinating to me. That's how I go down
The
rabbit hole.
the rabbit hole of herbs. It's beautiful to me.
I love that.
Not the ones I'm giving you. That will forever stick in my brain.
Not
Forever,
like,
right?
what are you doing? Yeah, I try to make tea for my kids all the time. They're not feeling well. And I make them taste good. I'm a chef. I know how to make shit taste good. You know, they never seem to understand that it doesn't do them very much good if it stays in.
Oh yeah. You just drink the fucking tea, right? I used to run across the same thing, so I would throw. And my kids are not big elderberry people.
Yeah.
So I would kind of I would do other type of herbs, and I would just throw stuff in every now, a little bit of apple cider, a little bit of apple juice, make them as popsicles, and I would make them make the popsicles. I would brew the tea, and I got remember the Tupperware.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tupperware.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had 4 of them. I had 3 kids, so we always had one left over. I do, but I would do and this and that, and I would make them popsicles. If I couldn't find my popsicle holder thing, I made it in the ice cube trays with the cellophane and
And
the
a popsicle
toothpick.
stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like make it fun because they will damn sure eat a popsicle,
Yeah.
regardless of what it's like. You throw some apple cider or some apple juice or something in there.
Yeah, just some
Yeah,
berries or something.
exactly.
Like, so many times I'm just like, they're like, man, I can't stop coughing. And I'm like, will you take the cough medicine? No. Have you drank the tea? No. Then of course you're still fucking coughing.
Wild cherry bark and the sour cherry juice. You buy in the
Oh, yeah.
glass. Beautiful. You
Oh.
infuse the wild cherry bark in there, and maybe some. Trying to think what was the other thing that I did. I think it was Luthero that I did, because my son had really, really bad barking cough for weeks, and I'm like, okay, I'll fix you, and that's what I did, and I had to mask it, and the cherry juice, beautiful. Plus, it was so filled with antioxidants. And
Yeah,
everything.
like it in
Perfect.
and of itself is good.
People always are surprised how good tea tastes. I think they have this preconceived notion that tea is like, and it's really not. Like when they try my tea, they're like, "Oh my God, this is really good." And I was like, did you doubt me? Like, come on now. I know what I'm doing. But right? So
We got the Avalon libraries picking a tea
I
month
I
of yours.
I reached out to her. I follow her now, and I would love to sit with her.
Oh,
Just,
absolutely.
like she seems like such a sweetheart.
She
But
is.
yeah,
She's fantastic. But yeah, she's like, I'm gonna do a tea month for
I will love that. I'll even make a tea for the library.
You hear that,
You hear
Heather?
that?
Yeah.
So
Be listening, so
We have to make a tea. We have to make menagerie.
we do.
We do.
I just don't know what our flavor profile should be.
Wild berry. No.
Gonna have to have a little spiciness to it.
I like the pink peppercorn and the Lilith,
Yeah.
that little bit of bite on the back end.
Lilith is hardcore. Did you try my fire agent pineapple?
Yeah, I had that the last
Okay.
podcast.
Did you drank it? Like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
like
yeah.
that
I
type
That
of
was so
thing?
good.
I can't remember. Did I
Yeah.
try that? Yeah.
It was no, we had that for the first episode.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
good.
We still have a little bit left. I almost did that today, but I wanted something I could put milk in.
I want to start working with long pepper. So yeah, it's another pepper is so incredibly medicinal that people don't realize it.
It's anti-inflammatory, and we're both old and creaky, so
Oh, girl, I'm older than
And
both
it
of
breaks
you.
your
And
blood
it's
pressure.
like, yeah, it's so good, and it gets that little bite. But yeah, my Lilith. Not only do I have the peppers in there, I grind the hibiscus leaves into a powder, and then when it's all done, then I dust it with hibiscus on top. That's why brews red. So yeah.
So you just put like one little seed of like the Carolina Reaper into a whole batch.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
I'm out of my Carolina Reaper seeds and be like, here you go. They're
I
growing
know.
currently.
And you know what? I have to wear the mask that
Yeah.
we got for COVID. I have to wear that when I make Lilith because she chokes me.
I have to wear a mask anytime I'm doing an herb refill because like the dust particles get all up in my grill for like the next 3 hours. I'll be sneezing all day.
Me too.
So I always end up having to like throw a mask on.
Yeah, it's just
I started off masking up when I would make the hot foot powder because of all the different peppers and stuff in there, and I just figured embrace it.
Speaking of, we need
Embrace
to make
the
that
suck.
good for dust. You need to
Yeah,
check that
we-
rattlesnake.
Damn skin has been in salt for like 3 years. It better be
Crispy.
out and crispy. So we wanted to do house-made goo houses. Right?
Yeah.
And you need rattlesnake.
Right.
Rattlesnake skill, that's a must. But what we found online was a little too
It was
Moist.
skin, not shed.
yeah.
So
And we
Oh,
couldn't,
yeah,
and I couldn't
different.
find at the time.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything that was just shed.
Oh, I wish
So
you
it
would
has been
have told me.
sitting in a jar of
daughter.
salt for like 3 years.
Desiccant packs.
Okay.
And the other reason why I know this is my daughter-in-law used to raise snake rats. So she had a rattery and she did beautiful, beautiful little ball pythons. And I would get the sheds.
Mhm.
Um,
We have a customer regularly comes in and trades shed
that's
for
beautiful.
for
I
snake
might
rat.
buy some off of you. And just
Oh, no,
I got lots.
I got a
Um,
bag.
the desiccant packs I've noticed, and you can buy them in bulk. It dries, especially when I do botanicals. It dries them in such a beautiful way so quickly.
Okay. Let's try that.
More so than the salt because the salt still retains
Retains
the moisture.
It's still high.
Exactly. And a desiccant, I don't know how it works, but it's
Like we've tried oven drying it. We've tried salt. Like it's not. We tried it in a dehydrator until the dehydrator basically
it.
died.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
yeah. Try desiccant.
Yeah.
Okay.
That combined with like the 3 years of salt, we might actually finally get it crispy enough. And we just got a bunch of red bricks to make the red brick powder too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you this, and this is total preference on the practitioner. Where do you get your red bricks? Red wicks. Where do you get your red wicks from?
Our chimney. We got our roof replaced this year. We asked to keep all the bricks.
That's beautiful.
We were taking the fire. The chimney was not functional. We had no fireplaces, so we just asked to keep the bricks.
Totally get that. I have 2 bricks left from church that was being torn down.
Oh, nice.
But and then I have things from an old bank as well. So I keep them, but that's like, I'm like,
You're like, I'm gonna just little
just
scraping.
and my one daughter, my one daughter, my only daughter, what are you doing?
Practicing conservation.
Right?
I should have gone and checked out that funeral home that got knocked down.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. That'd be a funky energy to use for protection.
I wasn't going to use it for
I was
protection.
gonna say, I was gonna
Touche. Touche.
Yep.
I totally they knocked down a funeral home down in Avalon. I totally meant to go, like, see if I could steal something, but
Yeah.
it's all gone now. Like they've cleared it out. I should have done that. Damn it.
Loser.
God, I'm so dumb.
You
Right?
I think you're gonna have to lose your title as town witch for at least a week. You're on probation now.
Okay, Lori can have it for the week,
She's got.
but she wanders up and down. She can for both.
There you go. Oh God, this is so good.
You were all nervous for
Nervous.
no reason.
And I was like, I'm gonna be like sounding like an idiot, but
Oh, did you want some of this?
Now I got another cup of coffee.
Okay, I was kidding about biting you.
yeah. Hey, when I leave, you guys can do whatever you want.
I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah, I'm gonna make waffles.
I'm gonna
Make
start
it.
editing.
One of us has to work.
Right?
Touche.
I haven't been doing shit this week. I'm hoping my
You've been dealing with the public. What are you talking about doing editing?
That's enough.
We love you guys, but man, the public sucks.
Respected.
I was drunk.
Working with the public is difficult, but I truly love it because you get to meet the most versatile.
You meet so many cool people
Right.
in between, like, the handful of people you're like, you drove here? You have a license? You
can breathe.
and vote?
Well, my shop is catty corner from one of the biggest stores of them.
Oh, I love that for you.
So yeah, yes.
How's
And
that
we
been?
get to share an entrance with the local mom and pop ice cream store. So
Okay, that would be dangerous.
it is. I put on almost 10 pounds since I started over a year ago because they're gorgeous people. Hey, we did a coffee mocha flavored shake. You want to try some? And I'm like, okay. She's like,
Have you guys talked about doing a collaboration of them making ice cream out of some of your teas?
no, because they have you have to order already pre-made stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I do have some collaborations with other bakers in the area that will brew my tea and make a simple syrup. One girl,
Some creme brulee.
she does poison apple and black cat together and infuses it and then makes the simple syrup that she makes the icing out of and then makes a cinnamon muffin and puts the icing on top of
I
it.
love that.
Amazing.
That sounds so good.
Amazing. Yeah. I just found out. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
A lady, a customer, she's been buying my teas for years, and I was telling her, you can brew my teas, and my teas, if you look at them, they're chunks of dried apples, like it's edible. And she goes, I dump my brew, the leftovers, into my oatmeal and I eat it. I was like, oh, that's yes.
That
And
is.
she goes,
Especially your berry ones and stuff.
right? And
pretty
I
much
mean,
all
like,
fruit.
exactly. And she goes, and she goes, some of the other teas, she goes, I dry out and I burn as incense. I never thought that I'd
Shut
been
the front
doing
door.
this, right? And I'm like, I never thought of that. So I started looking at my teas in a whole new light, and I was like, oh, that would probably burn really, really, really well. So I'm gonna start trying some out, see how that goes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
It's amazing how somebody else can just like mention something and go like, I never did that.
Right? Exactly. It's just beautiful. And that's why we love it.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. We've had this weird influx lately of people coming in, walking around, not buying anything, but then giving all sorts. You know what you should do?
And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
You can
do, right?
What you should do is see that door you just walked through, do it again.
do it in reverse.
Reverse. Yeah, I get the
Unsolicited.
the unsolicited
And it's always a
opinions
boomer.
and yeah, well,
It-
I get the people like, have you ever thought about finding God? And I'm like,
That was gonna be my next question. Was like, what's it like being right across the street from a church? It's got to be fun.
I mean,
we have like 15 churches within like the 2 miles of
right.
Bellevue.
Oh, I know. I drove past 4 just getting here
Yeah.
on this street alone. But I do get some of them that'll come in to be like, some of my books and what's this? What's that? And
Oh,
I'm like,
I get letters from Florida and Minnesota about finding Jesus. One behind
keep
counter
getting
right
the
now that we
that's
applied to.
impressive. Wow.
Yeah, we got like a full like based typed letter from some guy named Vaughn in Minnesota asking us if we'd found Jesus or some shit or God's
Vaughn,
love. Yeah, no, like
So, Vaughn, you will be getting a response from me at some point. Just have to formulate it properly.
right? Yeah. But again, I think respectfully, I'll take it with a
Oh,
grain
yeah.
of salt. We're
Yeah.
just like, I'm not going to argue with you. I totally respect your religion, all religions.
I love the fact that they use our right up shop as one of the living stations of the cross on Good Friday.
Mm-hmm.
They have some jag walking with like a like dowel rod cross through Bellevue. And it's like, like big, and then they do like the stations of the cross all through town.
It was funny for a while, especially the first year when the guy carrying the cross tripped and face planted in.
Not watching the video.
Oh my God. Oh, that's so funny.
Like top of the cross, and dude's face went right in, like pretty much right into the menagerie logo on the window. Right, he tripped, face planted. I'm inside laughing my ass. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? And it was funny, but we've since kind of gotten into a little battle with the layperson that organizes all of that at the local Catholic church, and he's a royal piece of garbage who is just so close-minded. Like we're still, I know you know this, and most of the listeners know this. We're still raising the girls, kind of not really this year, but still quasi in the Catholic church.
They've gotten their first communion. We'll deal with confirmation.
Yeah, and it's one of the things we want them to have knowledge of both worlds, right?
Absolutely.
They can choose. But we had to leave the church. We had to leave that specific church and look for somewhere else because of horrific things they were teaching in Sunday school. Subjugation. Like the guy straight up said that when he was first courting his wife, that he looked at her and was like, "You are a heretic, and if you want to continue dating, you must convert to."
She was Methodist.
She was Methodist. She was Christian.
I can be a full spoiler.
Yeah, right.
Legitimately teaches that other Christians are the problem and are wrong. This one lady asked the question, like,
she married this man. I question her saying as
Yeah.
well, because honestly, like
glutton for
that was while you were
punishment,
dating. Bye, buddy.
right?
Like, see ya.
Right.
they've pulled out, like, in the class, tearing the shop apart, calling us evil because we are spiritually inclusive to everyone.
Not because we're pagans, not because we're witches, but because we were spiritually inclusive, so we're evil.
Oh,
And the guy teaching it, I'm literally sitting this far from him at a table.
He didn't know we were in the room.
Didn't know we were in the room. Cool. So the next morning, I put out our chalkboard easel. I forget what it all said, but when you lined up all the words on the side, it's like everyone is welcome, blah, 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 and proud at the bottom. So it's about evil and like, and this guy walks by the shop all the time, clutching his rosary, praying out for us, and
I do the prayer to Saint Michael. And walk by and we're like, cool, we have a statue.
Yeah, we got a G,
you got it. You want
got a Jeeba section.
be discount.
It's $28.
But it's the thing. So like we had to leave that because in every nasty thing that you hear people say the Catholic Church teaches, I had never heard before. The parish I grew up in was just absolutely perfect. I never heard anything negative about divorce other than you shouldn't do it. Right? They didn't fire and brimstone divorce. We didn't. I've never heard a priest growing up at a pulpit talking about gay people. I've never heard the division of, other Christians are bad or pagans are bad. I've never heard any of that. This church teaches all of that. And
hatred is what it
and
is.
then
Yeah, they're not teaching the message of Christ. They're teaching be afraid and these people.
Yeah.
Right.
So we very quietly left. We didn't say anything. We didn't start anything. And then about 9 months later, we get an email from them asking for donations.
To the shop.
To the shop, not us personally.
To the menagerie PGH at Gmail. Like to
Shut up.
So I was like, you know what? Not only are we not going to, I went through all the stuff. I said, these are things that your church needs to know that is being taught in your church.
CC the
That is anti-Catholic, anti-Christian, and
Right.
against Jesus, right? And I was like, and to show that this is not anti-Catholic and we have something wrong with Catholics, because I don't, we're going to make a donation to the woman
Genesis.
to Genesis, which is a Catholic-run organization. We will take the money that you're asking for and put it somewhere good and not into your church.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm so proud of you
But
too.
then
He started going back and forth. Jackass.
and the guy even like was sending me links to the Vatican's website. One of them on how included how the Catholic Church should handle other religions. So I can send back to him like, okay, my guy, here's the exact. I am copying and pasting this. The Vatican is telling you that you should be approaching all religions with love and respect, as long as that religion is teaching and not darkness. So how are you following your own faith
When you were
actively doing this?
when you even treat other Christians with respect.
Right.
And I finished that one with lines of, I would love to invite you to come to the shop. I will brew coffee, tea, do whatever you would like. Come sit. Let's have a discussion. You can see what this world really is. And you might even learn why people are leaving the church. And
right.
And he came back with, it was on the lines of like, after a lot of reflection, a lot of prayer, I could not even fathom stepping foot into such a den of evil. And said that we were all nothing but a bunch of demon worshipping,
fool, man. Come on.
demon worshipping soldiers of Satan, seeking the ruin of all mankind. Is a direct quote from me. That is burned in my mind. Cool. And then here's the best part. Every reply
in some idiot story.
Right? Every reply I sent to him, I CC'd the parish. So the parish office got the email. He always took them off.
I honestly
Flash forward.
he makes this sound so
Flash forward another year forward.
I've been a bitch. I can tell you that, Ray. I would have probably not as nice after some
another year later, they sent another email asking for donations to the shop, and I'm like,
that's all they.
Okay, bro.
Game on.
Are we really doing this again?
And I mean, we could block the address, of course, but it's a lot more fun to
so much more.
Be like,
well, look at the great story you have. Like, come on.
And it's always fun to just be like the creeper, like, hello, did you mean to send that to us? Hello.
And to me, it's a very fun challenge to write an extremely professional email and response.
Yeah.
That tells you to go fuck yourself because you're a hypocrite, without saying go fuck yourself, you're a hypocrite.
Exactly.
So that they can't then come back with like, look how mean they are. No, you can't.
Yeah.
We can look at.
I'm learning to take because I'm a scrapper, man. I'm like,
but like,
let's go.
I'm also tired, and there's only so many battles I can fight. Then I'd rather myself.
Yeah.
For the ones that matter.
But it was very eloquent what you did, and
I let Pat deal with those because Maureen, he wants to pick every fight.
From now on, I'm going to CC you. With this.
I let the rage subside, so it's usually a day or so before I can actually type a response.
Because I'm like, I stay in my lane. Yeah, I don't ask for nothing. I don't push my beliefs on anybody. No. If you want to talk religion and you're Jewish or Catholic or Tibetan monk, I don't know. I would love to sit down and talk. Exactly. Because I think it's fascinating to learn about other religions because every religion to me is beautiful.
Well,
but
since getting
a lot of people don't share that commonality.
Yeah. Since getting into this world, I by no means know a lot about religions, but I know a lot more than I do.
Right.
And doing stuff like the Mythology Mondays really kind of help push that. But what I'm finding, the more research I do, the more I read, the more I see, the more interconnected everything is.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, I just did this past Monday's Mythology Monday was on and Hermes disguising themselves and going to Phrygia to test the townspeople if they're good people or not.
Right.
Essentially. And I'm like, okay, Odin did the same thing. We see it happen with Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible. Like these are stories that just like transfer. It's like all the gods sit around a conference table, like, all right, what are we gonna do this time? Like,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna disguise
What-
ourselves as
what-
travelers.
Right.
Let's go fuck with the humans.
What lesson do the humans need today? And
Right.
how can we teach
Yeah.
it real hard?
Yeah. Let's make it memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm,
exactly.
mhm.
Like, we're gonna make these bitches learn to write to keep this story around.
Oh god.
So now, okay, just speaking of like, hey, cool, we read a lot of stuff, we learned all this kind of stuff. Walk us through your research process.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the amount you deep dive into everything you brought through the store is just like blows my fucking mind.
Well, thank you. I do. I again, I take everything seriously. Like with the Morgan, like I've never worked with her. I didn't know anything about her. You were the guys with the people that
The-
I asked about. Like, tell me what she's about. What do you love about her? And then I just go and then I research and I research and I research. Now those ones I do a lot more than just 3 different sources
Mhm.
because everybody has their own take on her.
Mhm.
So I kind of glean whatever I can out of all research, and I'm like, okay, I like this type of tea, and it's indigenous to that area that they're from. What other herbs did they use as offerings to that deity that I could incorporate into the teas? And I think we were talking about the Scottish breakfast or the Irish breakfast, um, mugwort, elderberry. We tried juniper, and I
It
did
didn't-
not like it.
Yeah,
it
it left
didn't.
a.
It was
It-
yeah.
It was like almost a medicinal aftertaste.
Right,
Yeah.
very Ginny type, and but like I will sit there and I will play with it, like Baron Samedi.
Mhm.
I've never worked with any of those deities. It's not, and I
Long line.
right. And the more I read about them, there was oh, these guys are cool. But again, so his classic thing is partying and gambling, and it's like c'est la bon temps roulette, let the good times roll. So he likes his rum, he likes this, he likes that. Okay. I didn't really have flavoring that profile. I went with bourbon. So, and he loves chocolates and sweets. So, okay, so let's do a chocolate chai because he's spicy.
Yeah.
And as an homage to him to satisfy his tastes, I did Kentucky bourbon finish on it. Trying to think of what I did.
We're seeing on that one specifically, our friend Arlene. You can see her almost when she first saw the Loire on the label of bags, and then she like Louise, she's like, okay,
She
all
buys
right.
Mama Brigitte
All the
tea
time.
All the
all the
time.
time.
Yeah, and I gave her a bag of Freya at the one.
That's
did
right.
you know about that?
Yeah.
So I gave her. We were at the same show you were at
Mhm.
that time, and
I was sad he never brought that back.
talking, and she said, she was saying about the list. She's like, you actually nailed it. I was like, well, thank you, I appreciate that because I'm not familiar with them. I said I know them now, and they're awesome. But coming from somebody who does practice that,
Yeah.
it made make my heart, black
Get
little
stirred
heart,
up.
will warm up a little bit. But as she's talking, I'm hearing, give her some Freya, give her some Freya, and I was like, and she's talking, I was like, here. Why'd you give me this? And I'm like, I don't know. They're
I
telling
don't know.
me to give this to you.
Somebody
And-
wants you to have it.
right? And then she's looking at it, and then her face completely changes. And she's like, I have Freya. And it was an actual person.
Yeah.
And she's like, how did you know? I didn't, they did. Like, it just
Wouldn't
so I
shut
just
up.
like open myself up to get that message through that might help me further. Biden, he brewed electric blue for the ocean. It's just I love coming up with that stuff. Still working on Hecate. She hasn't reached out to me to give me the final spec.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I got the gist. The Morgan came right through with your guidance.
No, and you nailed it. When I looked at ingredients, it was like, yep.
And that's why you
Got
guys
it.
are the only ones who carry it aside from my shop. And you guys will be the only ones to carry it.
I mean, if you ever have anybody that you're asked for, please feel free.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that it's like, and I don't think I either knew or I completely forgotten that it was exclusive for us.
Yeah.
And Jess mentioned again recently, I'm like, that's so cool.
Right. Well, that's why I want to do the menagerie.
Mhm.
I did Lilith for the little shop of Lilith.
Okay.
They wanted a tea for their rituals. And I was like, okay, hadn't worked with Lilith. I said, tell me all about it. We spent an hour talking about this one. And badass.
Yeah.
And when I took away from that, it's like, okay, she's fiery, but she's also loving. And she could be sweet, but she's going to be sweet with a spiciness to it. And that's why I came up with Lilith. And when I took it back to them, they brewed it and it turned blood red. They drank it. They're like, you nailed it. And that's the tea that they use for all their rituals.
Awesome.
And so, yeah.
And I brew every month. I do a Morgan
Hmm.
pot of that's always brewed for it. It's given as sacrifice. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
That does my heart good.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. What else? Well, it's I didn't bring my glasses, so I can't see nothing.
We always have our question how to
Cheat
push
sheet.
conversation along.
I think we got them all.
For the most part, so we've kind of been dancing around this, but what's your spiritual practice like, if you don't mind talking about that? 'Cause, like, in my head, I always like dividing. You have your other world spiritual practice, and then like the green world, the
But-
natural world practice, which obviously the herbs and the teas and everything.
Yeah.
That.
I'm very
So we know from earlier that we're not Wiccan.
right.
That wasn't free. You
I
obviously
just
have a link to the gods because if you're doing all these teas for them and getting the hints, obviously they're acknowledged.
yeah,
So,
and it's weird because I don't really work a lot. I work with nature. I work with the energies, the elements. I'm a very elemental type of girl. So, I work the winds, I work with the waters. Well, there's a tree in the woods that I get my stump water from. I put water out during a torrential downpour and like remember we were getting those ridiculous storms and I was like, I got water, then it's going to queue up if I use it. So I like being not, I mean, pun intended, in my elements. I like just being out in nature and using those energies to help me along the way. But I don't necessarily work with a specific deity for that. So it's kind of like I kind of do my own thing, really.
Stump water. What does that do?
Oh,
I've heard of like all sorts of different waters. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody using stump.
stump water. Well, if you think of stump water, it's brackish, it stinks and everything. So if you really want to ruin somebody's day, you use stump water.
Similar to like bog water.
Exactly. I don't have a bog, but I do have a stump.
I got my graveyard ditch water. I'm good.
There's a graveyard by my house that I've used, and it's really funny because Hecate reached out to me multiple times with all her keys, and so there is a 1700s cemetery by my house that's at a crossroads. So
we're coming over at some point.
it's so because I do leave my offerings there because she is the one that reached out to me 1st. And so I know that, there's a connection there. I don't necessarily call on her a lot. But there's something about her that resonates with me. So I always do I found my 2 black dogs. She has 2 black dogs. So it's like, I know there was workings to get when I needed to honor her. So I do go to the crossroads and I do leave my offerings. And the one time a cop pulled up.
What are you doing?
I mean, because there's no street lights or anything. So you see a car parked alongside the graveyard. What are you doing? And I got a little jelly jar filled of, with alcohol, and I got garlic, and I got all these different wonderful things, and I'm laying them and I'm giving my thanks and gratitude and all that other stuff, and then see the lights. I was like, oh, left my money at the gate, and I walked in, he goes, ma'am, may I ask what you're doing? And I was like, I'm not desecrating anything. I said, as a matter of fact, I'm doing the exact opposite. I said, I'm honoring everybody here. I said, I'm giving offerings. I'm like, that's my religion. He goes, how cool is that? Thanks, Secretary.
Thanks for looking out.
Yeah, sent the right cop.
Right, exactly. And he was just like fascinated. And he goes, well, may I ask what you left? And I was like, well, yeah. I said, I left a little dog food because, her dogs. I live this. I live that. There's, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of honey. And I was going over all the different things. And he goes, and she eats that? And I was like, nice. Energetically, yeah. And I said, but, the stuff that I leave, I slide it off the paper plate. I make sure nothing stays there that can hurt the environment and everything. But, I just slide off the plate. I dump out the alcohol and away I go. And he was just like fascinated. So I'm like, you might see me here often. I said, but this is just my way of giving back and saying thanks to the universe, Hecate, all these other stuff. And he's like, okay. He goes, so if I see your car, he goes, I'll just beep. I was like,
And now he went back to preaching as the
oh
shit.
yeah,
It's like,
dude. No.
I met a witch
Yeah.
in a graveyard.
At the crossroads.
Right. And it was a full moon.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect.
It could have only been better if it was like Halloween.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
So
but I do love the fact, and we talked about like the church and the adverse side to it, and people react to it. But in general, it seems like people are more accepting and more curious,
absolutely.
and way more with our world
Yes.
than probably even 10, 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
So, interactions like that, it's just like, we're heading in a
We are.
we're heading in a right. There's still a lot of shit to weed through,
Well,
but we're
yeah.
heading in a good direction. We will be back on May 24th. That's just one more week from today, with the conclusion of our first ever 3-part series.
It's on you now. You have the knowledge. Do with it as you will. Until next time, the conclave has concluded.